Let's be real. If you've ever stared at an IELTS data chart with the clock ticking down, you know that feeling of panic. It's intense. But what if I told you there's a clear, proven system to turn all that confusion into a top-scoring essay every single time? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. So you get a chart like this. You've got 20 minutes, just 20, and you've got to write a perfect report of at least 150 words. If that sounds overwhelming, trust me, you are not alone. It's a task that can stump even the sharpest students, because it's so easy to just get lost in all those numbers. Yeah, this 20-minute data challenge is, without a doubt, one of the trickiest parts of the exam. But here's the good news. There is a straightforward way to absolutely nail it. And the secret? Well, it isn't luck. And it isn't about being some kind of math genius either. As the experts at Cambridge IELTS Consultants point out, it's about having a system, a simple, repeatable process that you can use on any data chart they throw at you. And this is it. This is the whole system. Just 3 simple steps that will take you from that initial where do I even start panic to a well-structured, high-scoring answer. First, we analyze. Second, we find the story. And third, we write with confidence. So let's dive into each one. Okay, step 1, analyze the data. Now, this first step is all about just understanding what you're looking at before you even dream of writing a single word. This whole analysis phase, it should take you like 1 minute, no more, but it is absolutely crucial. The very first and honestly the most important question you need to ask yourself is this static data or movement data? Think of it like this. Static data is a photograph. It's a snapshot in time. You're just comparing sizes. Movement data, that's a movie. It shows change over time. You're comparing what happened between the start and the end. Figuring this out literally determines the language and the entire structure of your essay. So in that quick 1-minute analysis, you're going to check these 3 things. What do the 2 axes actually show? Is there a timescale? And is it in the past, present, or future? Because that's going to tell you what tense to use. And, this is a big one. What are the units? You do not want to be talking about millions of dollars when the chart is actually showing thousands of tons. Get these basics right, and you've built a rock-solid foundation. All right, analysis done. Now for the fun part. Step 2 is where you become a data detective. You're not just a reporter listing numbers. You're looking for the narrative, the story that's hidden inside all that data. The biggest mistake people make is just listing off the data from left to right. A Band 9 essay never does this. Instead, it groups the data. So let's say you're looking at a chart of phone sales. Instead of going country by country, you'd group the countries where sales went up and then talk about the countries where sales went down. See? This grouping is how you start to tell a real story. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is exactly what the official instructions ask you to do. See that? Select and describe the main features. Grouping is how you select what's important instead of just trying to describe everything you see. So here's the bottom line. The story you're looking for has 2 main parts, trends and exceptions. A trend is the main plot. It's the pattern that a bunch of data points share. The exception? That's your plot twist. It's the one thing, the one country or company or data point that does something totally different. Find those 2 things and you found your story. Okay, so you've analyzed the chart, you've found the story, you've got your notes ready. Now, with about 15 minutes left on the clock, it's time to put it all together into a perfectly structured essay. The structure is beautifully simple. Your intro? It's just 1 sentence paraphrasing the question. That is it. Never copy it word for word. Then, in the main body, you describe those trends and exceptions you found, and you use just a couple of key numbers to back up your points. And finally, the summary. You just recap the main story, the key trends, without using any specific figures. No numbers in the summary. Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example from a model essay. First, the writer states the trend. Ticket prices generally follow passenger numbers. They give a figure to prove it, that 8 a.m. surge. Then, and here's the magic word, however. They use that to introduce the exception, the 6 p.m. spike, where prices were actually low. It's just perfect. So what makes this little paragraph so good? Why is it Band 9 material? Well, it's this killer combination. It clearly states the trend, it only picks the most important figures to illustrate the point, it uses powerful contrast language like however to pivot to the exception, and it shows off a fantastic range of vocabulary. I mean surge, spike, accompanied by, that's the stuff right there.
All right, to wrap things up, let's run through a really quick Band 9 checklist. Think of these as the golden rules that will protect you from the most common mistakes that people make.
Okay, rule number 1. Never ever give your opinion or try to explain why something happened. Just report the facts. Rule 2. Don't be a robot just listing numbers. Find the groups, find the story. Rule 3. Keep your introduction and summary clean. No specific numbers, period. And rule 4. This one's simple but crucial. Always write over 150 words.
So there you have it, your simple 3-step game plan to master IELTS writing task 1. First, analyze the basics. Then, put on your detective hat and find the story by grouping data into trends and exceptions. And finally, write a crystal clear essay that tells that story with total confidence. The next time you see a data chart, don't see a chore. Don't see a challenge. See a story that's just waiting for you to tell it. You've got the system, you've got the tools. So the only real question left is, are you ready to be a data storyteller?